يعلم الناس الخير والآخر يسعى ويقوم الليل أيهما أفضل؟ قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم
Right.
فضل هذا العالم الذي يصلي المكتوبة ثم يجلس الناس الخير هذه الذي يقوم الليل بالفضل.
You see everything is right there. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmadu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. Look at the previous hadith. Was in Hasani Mursalan. Remember, as the Hassan Basri, Rahmatullah alayhi, was not a Sahabi. So that means there's a Sahabi in between him. And when a Tabi narrates from Nabi Sallallahu and he leaves a Sahabi out, it's called the Mursal Riwayat. And the Jama of Mursal is Marasil. Marasil, right? So وأنه from Hassan Basri Mursal riwayat means he left the Sahabi out. قال سئل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن رجلين كانا في بني إسرائيل. Once Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم was asked about two men كانا تسنية that was in the Bani Israel. أحدهما كان عالما. One of them was a scholar. يصلي المكتوبة. He should read his فرض صلاة or do whatever فرض. ثم يجلس then he said فيعلم الناس and he teach the people الخير, good things. That's خير يعرفه دين. والآخر يصوم النهار. The other one is to fast in the daytime, right? ويقوم بالليل and he will spend the night time. ويقوم بالليل stay and pray night time. But أيهما أفضل? Which one of the two is more virtuous? قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فضل هذا العالم الذي يصلي المكتوبة, right? فضل هذا العالم الذي يصلي المكتوبة. The virtue of this person who does his compulsory things ثم يجلس, then he sits, right? يعلم الناس and he teaches the people الخير, good things. العابدي, this is the allies متعلق بالفضل. The fadl of the alim on the abid, right, is right الذي يصوم النهار, the one fast the day, ويقوم بالليل and says at night. كفضلي على أدناكم, it is like my virtue on the lowest of you people. Okay, before we get it, what do you understand from the hadith? What can you tell me from this hadith here?
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم
What do you understand from the hadith? Ismail. One is you got a scholar, an alim, who is well grounded in deen. He does the faraz. There's no compromise with regards to the faraz. You can't say now that you're going to compromise. Like, you know what the faraz is. Your faraz salah, your faraz zakat, your faraz fasting. He does the faraz, and he takes his extra energy, his extra time, and what he does, he teaches the people. Then you got another alim also. He does his faraz, but his extra time, his extra energy is not spent in imparting the knowledge. His extra time, his extra energy is spent in doing extra worship. That's what I'm saying. So I explained this before to you. I told you, see, one is lazim, one is muta'addi. Mashallah, you pronounce lazim muta'addi. Muta'addi means something which extends to the next person. Lazim means it's restricted to yourself. So when you as an individual, you do your first things, right? But your extra energy, you do extra ibadah, you will benefit from that. You will draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will become illuminated, etc. But the person who uses his extra energy to teach people, he is benefiting other people. So that nafa is muta'addi. So that people will teach other people, and that people will teach other people, and that people will teach other. So you are benefiting more people. So this is not a license to say that you are involved in teaching and learning, that you mustn't do extra. Yes, you must do extra ibadat, but everybody must do extra ibadat. But as I said, that your main energies, your focus is channeled on conveying the religion, on teaching people. You alimun nas al khair. You understand what I'm saying? That is why, just to understand this point here, as Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala, he was considered to be a student of deen. He memorized over 5,000 hadith, and he used to rehearse his hadith. This Quran, those people that only believe in the Quran, they often taught Abu Huraira, they say, how can he have memorized so many hadith, and how can he's shooting from the hip? While we're discussing this, I'll give you two or three things. I'll tell you. Firstly, if you look at all the hadith that Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu narrated, all of them, they've got other independent chains from other Sahaba Ikram that support him. It's just a few, a handful. He's the only narrator. So there goes the argument that he fabricated the hadith. That's the first thing. The second thing, he himself says that I had a problem with my memory. I asked Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to dua for me. Second thing. Third thing, he says that my Ansari friends, that was, they used to go work out, they used to work, go in the fields and work. But me, I used to rehearse my hadith. And anyway, this is, by the way, the main point I want to make is this here. That as Abu Huraira said, that Nabi Sallallahu permitted for me that I can read my Salatul Layl, my Tahajjud Namaz, before I sleep at night, because I studied till late at night. It's difficult for me to wake up early in the morning. Subhanallah. So you see from this also you learn that if a person can't wake up at night, early in the morning, or you're studying late at night time, then you got the permission. It was granted to as Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu. That is why it comes in Shami also, a Hanafi book. That person obviously is more virtuous to read your Tahajjud Namaz just before the entry time of Fajr. Just before it, that's most virtuous. Why is the most virtuous? Because that's the most difficult time to wake up. That is when the sleep is the sweetest. That is when your sleep is the sweetest. It's most difficult. So, al-ma'unatu ala qadr al-mashakka. Reward is in relation to the amount of sacrifice you make. But if you can't wake up, then ulama explain, read before you sleep. And if that you can't do, at least read it. When you read your Isha Namaz, mashallah, we discuss with you. You read your Isha, we're doing this indeed, we done indeed. After your Isha, you read two rakats, Sunnat Mu'akkada, or 4 revisions. Then you read 2 rakats, Nafil Isha. You can make intention when you read it to Nafil Isha after your first to Sunnah Mu'akkada. You can make intention in that this is Nafil of Isha, and you can make intention that it is Tahajjud Namaz and Salatul Layl. That is the minimum. That is the minimum. Obviously, better than that is to, before you sleep, and even better than that is to wake up just before Fajr. Any time in the winter time is very, very easy, right? So the point I wanted to make to you is this here. Let's see as Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he was granted the permission to make his tahajjud namaz before he sleep, because all his energies was channeled into acquisition of knowledge. So you see the benefit of knowledge, of benefiting other people, of dispelling darkness, of educating people and bringing of deen. This is the single most thing that will contribute to the preservation of deen, to keep deen alive. That is what our ulama always say. They always tell you that for a talibul ilm, for a student of deen, the most important thing after you after you do your fara'is, remember there's no compromise. You read your faraz namaz, you read sunnah mu'akkada, you fast your faraz the fast. The most important thing is then to channel your energies into your studies, right? You shouldn't be doing extra. That's why even if a person tell you they want to go in Jamaat, madrasa time, it's madrasa time, they want to go in Jamaat, they want to go in 40 days Jamaat, or they want to go 3 days Jamaat. You can see such a person hasn't understood their priorities. Because for a talibul ilm, that is where you give your hands in the hand of a sheikh and you establish a Islamic relationship. Our seniors, Mawlana Rashid Ahmed Gangway, in it, if students of deen would come and say they want to give bad, they want to start, the inner purification, you'd refuse. You say, no, you are student of deen. Your primary objective in life is to channel all your energies into your studies. Study well. And then when you finish study well, you'll benefit people. Then you can start your Jamaat work, you can start your this work, your that work, your other work, right? So see, look at again, the hadith again. See, kana fi bani Israel, right? Ana rajulaini kana fi bani Israel. So you must remember this. One day maybe you will become teachers, you will become principals, you will become whatever. For a student, besides the farais, the most important thing is what? Is your studies, your energies, the time, your resources must be, because you will go out, you will become community leaders, and you will benefit multitudes of people, right? So see, look at the hadith again now after getting the explanation. أنا رجلين كان في بني إسرائيل. Two people from among the Bani Israel. أحدهما كان عالما. The one is an alim. يصلي المكتوبة. Although the hadith say here, he should read maktuba means as far as namaz, but let's extend it. Let's extend it and say he should do everything which was farz. Just come one riyad, please. They say it must come. He should do everything which was. Oh, sorry. He should do everything which was compulsory. He should do everything. So I say, you give your zakat, you do right. Then, ثُمَّ يَجْلِسُ فَيُعَلِّمُ النَّاسَ الْخَيْرِ. Extra time, extra resources was spent in teaching the people good. That is, we say khair means teaching them the basics. This is halal, this is haram, this is how you pray namaz, this is how you make istinja, this is how you read Quran, this is dua of salah, right? وَالْآخَرُ يَصُومُ نَهَارًا وَيَقُومُ اللَّيْلَ. The other one, he would use his extra energy to do nafal acts, right? أيهما أفضل? Which one is more virtuous? قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فضل هذا العالم, the virtue of the scholar, الذي يصلي المكتوبة, he does what is necessary, ثم يجلس, then he sits, ويعلم الناس الخير, and he teaches the people what is good, right? So this highlights فضل العالم على العابد, upon the worshipper, الذي يصوم النهار, the one who fasts in the daytime, right? ويقوم الليل, and stands in prayer at night. كفضل أدناكم, is like my virtue upon the lowest of you. Now imagine let's look at the greatest Sahabi, the greatest non-Nabi and a Nabi. You can imagine what is the difference. If you look at the lowest Nabi, and you look at the highest non-Nabi, there's such a big difference. Now you're looking at the highest Nabi. Nabi Sallam is the Imam of the Anbiya. That's our belief. He's the highest Nabi. And look at his lowest Sahabi. Can you imagine what the difference? So that's the difference between an alim that uses his knowledge to educate, to empower, to teach people, to show them what is the right way. So from this you can understand how much virtue there is in being instrumental in imparting knowledge. And like I told you, like obviously sitting face to face and teaching somebody, that is the best. That is the traditional thing. That is what ulama explained means sadrin ila sadrin, from chest to chest. That is how it always was. But yes, in today's day and age where it's not possible. Read the next one, Shareef. This is Bismillah ar-Rahman, a beautiful hadith with regards to speak to adab and etiquette. وعن علي رضي الله تعالى عنه رأيتنا أثارت, it was Ali رضي الله تعالى, he said, Rasul said, نعم الرجل الفقيه في الدين. How good is that person, a rajul, who's grounded in Islamic knowledge, إن احتاج إليه نفع, when it is needed to him. This is our Latin translation. When he is needed, he benefit people. وإن استغني عنه, when independence is shown from him. That's our little translation. When individual أغنى نفسه, he keep himself aloof. رواه رزين, Imam Razin narrates this particular riwayat. What do you understand from this? Tell me what you understand. Ismail, what you understand? This is a brilliant hadith. What do you understand from this hadith? Tell me what you understand.
So, speaking about the issue of someone who is grounded with deen, that when people they need knowledge,
MashaAllah, you got most of it right. But this is what it means. See, firstly, you mustn't be totally inaccessible. Like, you as an alim, you as a scholar, you don't speak to anybody, you don't greet anybody, you don't meet anybody to such an extent that if somebody needs some help, that well, I don't know, man, I can't speak to him, and he just he'll shout me if I speak to him. Look at him, he's so serious, he's so sour. I can't speak to him at all, right? So you must make yourself accessible to the people. that if people need you, you are there to help them. If people need you, you are there to help them. That's the one part, right? See, there's two extremes. One is you make yourself totally inaccessible. People say, "Oh, that man, yeah, he comes off his house. If I see him, he's gonna shout me. I can't ask him." So you are totally inaccessible. If somebody has a problem, whether it's a marital problem or any problem, and you say, no, man, I can't speak to that man. He's such a serious man. So you make yourself totally inaccessible. That's the one extreme. Was it? You make yourself totally inaccessible. People are afraid. Then the other extreme is you forcing yourself onto people all the time. Every time you see somebody, come here, come here, come here. Let me give you some advice. Every time, so when a person see you, a child see, oh, there's Moana there. Let me run away from him. He's going to take me in Jamaat now. Or he's going to give me advice. He's going to tell me my pants is not right. He's going to tell me my hair is not right. He's going to, here's the appa. He's going to tell me now, every time I see the appa, she's going to tell me I must wear parda. Every time I'm going to see the appa, she's going to tell me this. So don't force yourself. So look at the two extremes. One extreme is you are totally inaccessible. You're unapproachable. People can't come to you. People are afraid to come to you. So there you can't benefit people. And the other thing is you forcing yourself onto the people every time. Can I give a talk? Family function. Mimi, I want to give a talk. Can I give a talk? I want to give advice. You're going for a bride, for example. I want to give some advice here now. It's good. It's good to give advice. So you went for a bride somewhere, or you want to set up and give advice. You went for coffee. Wait. You have to give advice. Mashallah, my brothers, we have 3 days. You have to go on. So you're forcing yourself on. You are saying. So see there. His mannerism is such that if people need him, they can go to him. They can. If he's needed, he can go. When people are not interested, you can see people are not interested. What is he keeps it. Now, she's a lot of people, they have this custom also now. They want to have a talk in a wedding hall. They have a reception. They have like a big reception. Now they say, no, we must have a talk also. We must have a kirat also. And we must have a talk. That people at that point in time are people worried about the talk. Do they want to listen to a talk? The women are all dressed up, the men are all dressed up, etc. And they're waiting for the biryani, they're waiting for the coke. Now you're going to speak about, they'll be just waiting for you. In fact, the next hadith speaks about something similar there. The next hadith, inshallah, I'll show you. It speaks about similar sentiments. So when people are not interested, you don't force yourself onto them. Every minute you want to give a bayan, when they see you, they want to run away, right? So when you force yourself onto somebody, like I told you, then your status, your dignity also drops. Look at if you're an alim, also every time you want to just be with the people, you want to go with them, you want to speak with them, and you want to joke and laugh with them, and then you also want to speak every time and give advice at the wrong time. So you must have that air of independence also. So to a certain extent, they can respect you. You understand what I'm saying? So as I told you, the one extreme is you are totally inaccessible, and the other extreme is you are with them all the time, laughing, joking, giving talk every time. They're going to take you for a luck and they're going to walk all over you. So what we're saying is you must strike the right balance. If they need you, you are there to. And when they don't want you, you just keep on the floof. Don't force yourself onto people. Don't force yourself onto people, right? Okay, give me the next hadith. So here they say also, sorry, Mark, one last thing. So when you see people are not interested, don't force yourself onto them. You keep yourself busy with your learning and teaching. You say this is not the essence of hadith. ليس للمسلم أن يذل نفسه. Some riwayat say لا ينبغي للمؤمن أن يذل نفسه. It's not appropriate for a believer, a Muslim, to disgrace himself. Because I told you now, you're forcing yourself onto people. You know what? Come there by your wedding, I'll give a talk for you. Or the birthday party. Come with me, I'll give a talk by the birthday party. Or there's a dopmaal. There's a dopmaal. What's a dopmaal? Huh? Give name. So I will come, I'll give a talk, and must make nice showers and all that stuff that will be there. And I'll give a talk, and you give me my envelope, also my staff and all that type of thing. I will give the talk. I will give the name. You just give a nice envelope for me, then I will do that. Like the Malay people, they have also like that, where you call it You must give the name and all that type of thing. So you don't force your people onto them. People call you, yes, you come. People don't call you, you keep yourself busy with yourself. That is the shine of alim. Don't make yourself cheap. Don't ever make yourself such as people will look down upon you. Anyway, read the next hadith. See, look at the next hadith. The next hadith speaks about something similar. Similar sentiments that's expressed in the previous hadith is expressed in this hadith. Here, read it. وعن إكرمة يا إكرمة غير منصرف نعم.
الله تعالى قال سدد الناس كل جمعة مرة بيت مرتين ثلاث مرات ولا تمل الناس هذا القرآن ولا ألفينك الأمة وهم في حديثهم فتقص عليهم حديثهم وتملهم
فتقطع عليهم حديثهم. You cut off the speech.
فإذا أمرك
فحدثهم.
رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أصحابه لا يفعلون ذلك.
I tell you, this hadith expresses the exact same sentiments of the previous hadith. See, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وأن إكرمة narrated by إكرمة أن ابن عباس ابن عباس قال حدث الناس كل جمعة مرة. Obviously, in a madrasa, obviously you come to study here, so that's different. You can't tell me, no, we must only have classes every Jummah, or we must do nothing. That's referred to the general public, right? He said, حدث الناس كل جمعة. Speak to the people every Jummah once a week, maratain. But okay, if you you refuse, you want to move, فمرتين, you speak to them 2 times. فإن أكثرت فثلاث مرات. If you want to go more, 3 times a week, not more than it. لا تمل الناس هذا القرآن. Do not amalla ibn was bore. Do not bore the people with this Quran. Don't bore them. In other words, every day you want to speak to them, you want to lecture them, they're going to get tired and they're going to get frustrated. You know, they say in English, even too much of a good thing is also not good. You know, if you have the best food, if you eat it every day, you eat biryani every day, you're going to list where you can also have nice normal bread with peanut butter because you're so used to eating that. So that's why the ulama explain to you also, they say when you're doing ibadat, just stop before you get satiated. Because once you get saturated, you don't have desire to go back. If you know, I read 1 hour Quran, I'm going to be tired after it, to stop by 15 minutes. When you stop it, you still got the desire to come back. Did you understand what I'm saying? So do not reach your saturation point. Once you reach your saturation point, you will have no desire to go back to it, right? So, وَلَا تُمِلَّ النَّاسَ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ. Do not bore the people of the Quran. In other words, every time you, like I told you, every time you see them, you're going to say something. Oh, yeah, here he goes again. Oh, there he starts again. Check him. He think he's in the madrasa. Right? وَلَا أُلْفِيَنَّكَ تَأْتِي الْقَوْمَ. I do not want to find you. The تَأْتِي الْقَوْمَ, you come to a people وَهُمْ فِي حَدِيثٍ مِنْ حَدِيثٍ. Once they are engaged, you can say engaged, in a talk from amongst the talk. So they're busy speaking something. Right? فَتَقُصُّ عَلَيْهِمْ. Now you want to start narrating upon them. فَتَقْطَعُ عَلَيْهِمْ حَدِيثًا. Now you want to cut off the talk. That's why I told you, like, you know, by the weddings, everybody's in a jovial mood. Everybody's in a jolly mood. Now you want to come and give a big talk. That's why whenever I'm requested to give a talk at the wedding, I say, Maaf, that's not the place to give a talk. You can excuse me, find someone else to give a talk there, right? You can rather give jokes or something, tell the people jokes, marriage jokes or something. Right? فَتَقْطَعُ عَلَيْهِمْ حَدِيثًا. Then you cut off from them the speech. They're busy engaged in something, they're laughing, joking, oh, we're going to have a bayan now. Oh, no, bayan coming, right? So, فَتُمِلَّهُمْ. Now you bore them. So here you see, it's the same thing. وَلَكِنْ and sit, remain silent, right? فَإِذَا أَمَرُوكَ. Here it says, when they command you. So I'll say this means here, when they show interest. They don't say, come, Rana, give a bayan. But you can see when they show interest, they're interested. فَإِذَا أَمَرُوكَ. They show interest. You know they're in the right frame of mind. فَحَدِّثْهُمْ. Then speak to them, advise them. وَهُمْ يَشْتَهُونَهُ. Whilst they are desirous of it, whilst they are interested. وَانْظُرِ السَّجْعَةِ مِنَ الدُّعَاء. And be careful about rhyming in the dua. فَاجْتَنِبْهُ. Abstain from it. To purposefully make the du'as rhyme, right? فإني أهدت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه لا يفعلون. Because I promise you that Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم and his Sahaba never used to do this. They never used to like make the dua into a sing song and that type of thing. رواه البخاري, Imam Bukhari narrates this particular riwayat. So I was telling you this hadith expresses similar sentiments that you must also have i'tidal. You must have moderation when you are speaking. Do not overburden the people. Do not tire them out. So yeah, Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala was speaking to his student, Ikramah rahmatullah alayhi, was telling one time, if more, two times, more, three times, but not more than that. So if you're going to force people, you're going to make them tired and they're going to have enough for the Quran. And as I told you, when people are engaged in talk, they got not interested. Now you come, you force upon them. That is obviously not on. So I told you that sajah, which is like a type of poetry, you make the words rhyme. Honestly, if you're making dua and out of your own, the words start rhyming, but to purposefully make it rhyme, that is not permissible. In fact, this you'll do a little bit more of this also um, in your hadith, where the Nabi was not a poet, and he used to. So yes, sometimes like naturally some words would come out, and the wisdom behind him is not being a poet is that even as a poet, when people say no, he's a poet, this Quran is poetry. But the fact that he wasn't a poet and this beautiful Quran came shows it wasn't from him, it was from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Okay, read the next hadith. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وأن واثلة بن الأسقى أن طارت أفوال واثل بن الأسقى. He said, the Rasul said, Man talaba al-ilma, that person who seeks knowledge, فأدركه. أدرك means he was successful. He made a success of it. He quite truly acquired knowledge. كان له كفلان من الأجر. For him will be two shares or measures from the reward. فإن لم يدركه كان له كفل من الأجر. If he did not was not successful, he did not excel as a as an academic, etc. كان له كفل من الأجر. Then there's only one reward for him, or one measure of the reward from him. رواه الدارمي. Imam Darimi narrates this particular riwayat. So kiflani means like two measures of reward. So one reward is for the effort he made, and one is for the success he got. Right? Like we always explain this about the mujtahideen, like that extrapolated laws from the Quran and Hadith. They say if they were successful, they get double reward. One is for the effort they made, and one is for getting it right. Né? So same thing here. That this field of studying knowledge, of acquiring knowledge, is such a virtuous knowledge that even if you fail in it, even if you're unsuccessful, still you will be rewarded. So there's no such thing as failing in the field of Islamic knowledge. As long as you've got, yes, the correct intention, it is purely for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then always you will be rewarded. Right? So this also just highlights the greatness or the virtue of studying knowledge. In the next hadith.
رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن مما يلزم من عمله بعد موته علما علمه.
علما يقول علمه أو علمه. تشديد on موت علما علمه. Okay, right.
نشره وولدا صالحا تركه. ورثه أو مسجدا أو بيتا من السبيل بناه أجره أو صدقة أخرجها من ماله يعني
Okay, this is also a very, very beautiful hadith. Uh, we've discussed this. إن قطع عمل ابن آدم بعد موته إلى ثلاث علم ينتفع بالناس رأيته أو صدقة جارية that when you pass away normally your action comes to an end because you can't pray anymore, you can't read salah anymore, you can't fast. But certain actions which you do in this dunya, that even after you pass away, people continue to benefit from it. So all those what we call it sadaqatun jariyatun. So any action which you engage in this dunya, after you pass away, people continue to benefit. As long as people are benefiting from it, you will get reward. So this hadith here mentioned a few, and I told it the other one I told to mention a few, but it's not restricted to this. Any action with people, and here he says, see, one Abu Hurairah narrated the authority of Abu Hurairah قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما يلحق المؤمن من عمله وحسناته بعد موته, right, إلا من علمه ونشره. The Rasul says from that مما يلحق المؤمن, which will join, it will reach a believer from his actions and from his good deeds, right? بعد موت, even after he passed away, is what? Ilman. Just as the point here, ilman is mansub because it is the ism of in, right? It's ilman allamahu wa nasharahu. You studied knowledge, you gained knowledge, and you started dispensing that knowledge, you started spreading the knowledge. So as long as that knowledge is going from person to person to person, you are getting the reward. So here, although this hadith speaks about a person who studied himself, and then after having studied, he then began teaching other people. But as I told you, if you look at it, these are just examples. There are many things. So we'll add to this, if you were instrumental in the learning and teaching of knowledge, also you'll get the reward, inshallah. You contributed to a institute of learning. You took care of the expenses of a student of deen. You took care of expenses of a scholar of deen, or you contributed, and so you're instrumental. So you're part of that whole system of learning and teaching. So as long as that student goes, he will teach other people, and that people will teach other people, and so forth and so forth. You will get your reward. So you speak about, investment with high yielding, high yielding investment, which get multiple rewards. That's one of them. To be part of the great legacy of learning and teaching. If you are obviously the business, you yourself involved, you're teaching yourself, you're learning yourself. Also, I mentioned this several times also. Doesn't mean you have to be in the formal setting of a madrasa. You can be teaching your own children. You can be teaching your nephews. Sometimes you see somebody when you go, come here, can I teach you something? Can I teach you, as a boy, as a man, you must have your pants above your ankles. Can I teach you something? This is how your beard is supposed to be. As I said, when you see like we tell you, discuss, not going around preaching all over the show, we say, oh, yeah, he comes again. People, you recognize the time. So you, as a teacher, as a kindergarten teacher, you're teaching whatever, right? Teaching small children, you wash your hands, you say Bismillah, etc., right? وَنَشَرَهُ. Next one, وَوَلَدًا صَالِحًا. A pious child, you teach the child, مَيْدَ رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيَّ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَوْمَ يَقُومُ الْحِسَابُ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لَنَا وَلِإِخْوَانِنَا الَّذِينَ سَبَقُونَا بِالْإِيمَانِ. So وَلَدًا صَالِحًا, dua, a child makes dua, that's the best investment, right? So وَلَدًا صَالِحًا تَرَكَهُ. So when you invest in your children in the Islamic education, you make sure that they learn how to read Quran, you teach them Salah, everything. The best investment for the Akhirah. Next one, oh, Mushafan warrathahu, or a copy of the Quran, warrathahu, you give it as inheritance. Yeah, although waratha means give it inheritance, but you make it available, you buy Islamic books, you donate to the publication of Islamic books. People, when they go to the Haram of Makkah, Medina, and they have those bookshops there, they buy the Qurans there, and they take it and they leave it in the Haram. Although there's so many Qurans, there's enough, there's too many there. So rather make accessible to areas where there aren't any Islamic knowledge, like places in Malawi, those places, the townships. So you make accessible Islamic knowledge as long people in the written literature. So as long as people are reading, they're benefiting from that, you'll be rewarded. All right. Our masjid Banahu, you build a masjid and people, as long as people, you know, if you build your own masjid yourself, alhamdulillah, that's good, brilliant. But if you can't build a masjid, nowadays, like in Malawi, those people, 50,000, 60,000, 100,000, you can build a masjid. You know, if somebody passed away, father passed away, grandfather passed away, son passed away, you build a masjid in their name. Right? If you can't build a complete masjid, you contribute to the construction of the masjid. As long as people are praying in that masjid, and remember, according to us, once the place is designated and declared as a masjid, till Qiyamah Day, that remains a masjid. So people are praying in the masjid, that you made it in the, if you yourself, you'll be getting the reward. Or if you've done it in the name of a loved one, etc., then they will be getting the reward also. It's also proven of the hadith. Once Nabi Sallallahu came, a person came to Nabi Sallallahu said that this, my mother had intention of sinking a well in a lifetime, but she passed away. So what should I do? She said, sink the well for her. She will also get the reward, right? So, masjid banahu. So if you can't build a complete masjid yourself, even you contribute to the construction of masjid. Baitan libn sabili. So this refers, in previous time, there weren't hotels like how we have today. There weren't ultra cities. Travel was slow and long. So you would have what you say in Urdu, say Musafir Khana. People would build a place where people can come and people traveling, passing by, they can come and live, stay there free of charge. They can take a meal, etc., etc. But nowadays, now you get hotels, etc. Although some places, you go to India and those places, you know, you get these Musafir Khanas. They have, like they had also in Joburg for the different people, Colvert House and all the things, where people passing by, they come and stay free from free day, etc. So, right? Bana أو نهرا أجراه, or a river أجراه. أجراه means you make it flow. In other words, you sunk a well, or you made some medium of the other to extract water from the ground to make water easy accessible to people. Today, day and age, maybe you like certain places you can still sink a well, or you made a water dispenser or something like that. People benefit as long as they drink. So you made water available. Sometimes there is drought in certain areas. You contribute to the distribution of water, etc. أو صدقة أخرجه من ماله في صحته وحياته. Or sadaqah, you took it out from your wealth whilst you are healthy and alive. تلحقه من بعد موته. It will reach him after he died. There's another hadith. It says that you give أنت صدقة وأنت صحيح شحيح. That sadaqah, when you give whilst you are healthy and you are well. Because as long as you are healthy and well, you still got the hope that you can use that money. You know, maybe I can buy, you're still young, you're healthy. If you're young, I can use this money, I can get another wife, I can marry another wife, or I can buy me another car, or I can buy me another house, or I can go for another trip. But yeah, when you, the hadith say, now you're laying sick on the bed and you're dying, you say, okay, give this to this madrasa, give that to that madrasa, give this to this person. There is reward for that. But it is not the same like when giving when you are healthy and well. Because when you're giving healthy, أنت صحيح شحيح تخشى الفقر, you feel you're still going to use it. So it's a greater sacrifice. But yeah, you have, now you like, now give to the madrasa, give to the darulum, give Ma'al Sufa so much money, give this one so much money, give that one so much money. There's reward, but it's not the same reward. Because why? You got no use for it. You're not going to take it to your qabr, right? So when you have that hadith says, أنت صحيح شحيح وتخشى الفقر, you are healthy, you well, you still feel poverty. There is greater sacrifice because you feel you can still do something with that money, in despite that you right. So they were saying, أو صدقا أخرج من ماله في صحته وحياته تلحقه من بعد موته. So this is what will reach him after his death. رواه ابن ماجه والبيهقي في شعب الإيمان. Ibn Majah and Bayhaqi narrates this hadith in Shu'ab al-Iman. All right, so we've covered most of it. So I was telling you, although this hadith and the other hadith speaks about what we term as perpetual reward, But it's not restricted to this. It is not restricted to this. It refers to anything where people will continue to benefit for it. And another thing here, we at Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we are kind of Isal Sawab, that you can pass reward to a deceased person. It's a separate subject matter, but just by the way, like I told you that hadith about where the Sahabi said that my mother wanted to sink a well, but she never get down to it. So Nabi Sallam said, you sink the well first, she'll get the reward, inshallah. So these are the type of hadiths that we use to prove that when a person passes away, you can still send them reward. And according to us, Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we say ibadat maliyah and badaniya. So if you give something in charity, and even if you recite something, you make zikr, you recite Durood Shareef, although some ulama like the Shafi ulama and the Athari ulama, the Salafis, they say only ibadat maliya, when you're giving something in charity, you're giving some money or something, then you can send the reward. They say like you read Salah, you fast, or you read or you read Quran, they say you can't send that reward. But according to the Hanafi madhab, even that you can do. Ibadat badaniya. You say like how Maliya you can send the reward, badaniya you can also send the reward. Okay, time is up. Let's stop there. Inshallah, we'll use the same link to continue with that tafsir, inshallah. Samai. So on. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're discussing this first year. إن الذين كذبوا بآياتنا واستكبروا عنها لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء. Those people who denied our signs and became arrogant, لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء. The doors of the heaven will not be open for them. One explanation we gave you, we told you, لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء. It means that the floodgate of mercy will not be open for them. And the other explanation we told you, it means that here that when we speak about Jannah from Hadith, heaven, it refers to being high up in the heavens, and Jahannam is at the bottom. That's why she said, Darkil, al Illiyin, the highest of Illiyin, Darkil Asfalin, the depths of Jahannam. So it's one explanation is it refers to the doors of heaven. So these people who deny the signs of Allah Ta'ala, the doors of heaven will not be open for them. In a narration from Abdullah ibn Abbas al-Sahaba, the tafsir of the verse also says that the gates of heaven will not be open for the spirits of deniers and disbelievers, and these spirits will be thrown down. The subject is supported by hadith of Sayyidina Bara ibn Azib, which has been reported in Peter by Abu Dawud, Nasai ibn Majah, and Imam Ahmad, a summary of which is given below. So what it says that the spirits of the disbelievers, if it goes up, it will be flung down. It will be chased away from Jannah. Allah Ta'ala protect us. So he says, the Holy Prophet also went to the janazah from Ansari companion. Because Ansari means those residents of Medina who passed away. The grave was not ready as yet. So he sat down on an open spot. So Nabi was sitting and waiting. So the companions sat around him silent. He raised his head and said, when the time of death comes, I be living servant of Allah. Angels with white radiant faces come from the heaven with the shroud and fragrance of the heaven and sit down in front of the person to die. Subhanallah. So as they were waiting, Nabi Sallallahu gave them some nasiyat. He told them, see, when a person, a believer passes away, then beautiful angels in a good form, with a good pleasant smell, and with beautiful white clothes, they come. And they come to this person. Then comes the angel of death, Israel, alayhi salam, and he addresses his ruh, the spirit. O soul at peace, ya ayyuha an-nafsul mutma'inna, irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan maradiyah. Come out to receive the forgiveness and pleasure of your Rabb. Then his ruh comes out of the body, nice and easy. Why his ruh comes nice and easy? His ruh knows that I've made preparation for this day. You know, I live my life according to how I was supposed to. I've not. So now, inshallah, there's bliss. Like similar, like, if you, for example, in the madrasa, you are obeying all the rules of the madrasa. You've done nothing wrong. You're studying your work. You're on time. And say the principal is calling you. You won't be afraid to go to the principal because you know your slate is clean. You'll be happy to go to the principal because you got nothing. But if you've been doing something wrong, you've been bunking classes, you're dodging classes, you haven't been doing your homework, etc. Now you say, hey, Rashid, the principal is calling you. Now you're worried. Was it because I was absent? Was it because I was late? Or was it because I never do my homework? Or was you worried? So same thing here. When you attempt to live your life, you lead your life according to Shariah. You know, halal is clear, haram is clear. You done what you're supposed to do. Now when the call come, you have to go, you have to meet your Rabb. You are happy because then his ruh comes out of his body nice and easy. Just like water coming out of a leather bag when opened, like how water flows from the leather bag, so easily, nicely, comfortably. The angel of death receives his ruh in his hands and trusts it with the angel sitting here. So Israel takes the soul and they give it to the other angels. These angels start moving out with the ruh of the deceased. They start going up. Whenever they meet a group of angels on the way, they ask, whose ruh is it? These angels introduce the ruh of the deceased by his name and with title which was known as a mark of respect in the life of the world. So as he's traveling up to the heavens with the soul, the other angels say, now whose ruh do you have here? Who's this? They say, this is Maulana Rashid Talika. And if he had a respectful title in the world, they will mention it. They tell him who he is, so and so, he's the son of so and so. Then comes a time when these angels reach the first heaven with the ruh. They come to the first heaven. They ask for the gate to be opened. The gate is open. More angels join them from here until they reach the first, the seventh heaven. At that time, Allah Ta'ala says, write down the record of the deeds of the servant of mine in the Illiyin record, and then send him back. The ruh returns to the grave again. In the grave, some angels who keep the account of the deeds. They make him sit up and ask him, who is your Rabb? We done this here. Who Rabbuk? Ma dinuk? Right? Who is your Rabb? He says, um, Allah Ta'ala is my Rabb. Rabbi Allah wa dini al-Islam. Then comes the question, this pious person who has been sent for you, who is he? We discuss this in detail. Then according to some explanations, a vision of Nabi Sallallahu will be shown. Some is that all the hijabat between the grave and Nabi Sallallahu will be removed. So he will see Nabi Sallallahu in his grave. Who is that person here? They right? And obviously, if you answer the message of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if you followed the sunnah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if you recited the rule of Nabi Sallallahu abundantly, you think you all recognize him? You think you all recognize him? Obviously you recognize him. If your whole life was centered around following the sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, your whole life was centered around reciting durood. When you see him, obviously you're going to say, so this person, who is he? This person who has been sent for you, who is he? He says, he is the Rasul of Allah. Then comes a heavenly call. My servant is true. Sadaqa abdi, that my servant has been true. Roll out for him the carpet of Jannah. Dress him up in the apparel of paradise. Open for him the door towards the Jannah. Through the door comes the fragrance and breeze of Jannah, and his good deeds are transformed into a handsome presence. It comes here him to help him. So his good deed transformed into a handsome presence. Come here him to help him become familiar and rested in company. Become familiar and rested in company. Yeah. So what I say, okay, the English is not so good. What I saying is your good deeds becomes a companion for you. Your good deeds assumes the form of a handsome person and will come and will be a comfort for you in your grave. Allah Ta'ala make us from among these people. Allah Ta'ala make us from among those people who our good deeds will be an anis in our Quran, our lesson, our hadith, will be a good companion. In contrast with the time of death come for disbelievers and the deniers, angels with dark and terrifying profile, ugly looking, come from the heaven, carrying a coarse piece of rugged, and sit down in front of him. Then the angel of death draws his ruh out as it were a thorny branch with wet wool wrapped around it. Through it, the thorny branch wants to be pulled out. They say that, if you take wool and it's wet and it is put into a thorny branch, when you pull it out, it gets stuck. As you put it stuck, as you pull it, it stuck. It tears when you want to pull it out. So same thing, that person who had no preparations for the akhirat, he did not read his salah, did not give his zakah. He don't want to come out because there's nothing waiting for him there. There is nothing waiting. He want to cling. Like how the cotton will, and he will be forced, like how the cotton will be extracted. He will be forced. When his ruh comes out, his stench is deadlier than the stench of a spoiled dead animal. See, I know you've ever seen, maybe come across a rotting dead animal, what a bad smell. The angels stood moving out with the ruh of the deceased. When the other angels meet and root, they ask, whose evil ruh is this? The angels tell him, what? The angels give him the worst name, the worst name he had in this dunya. That is why also we say, give a good name. People say, I become Muslim, it's necessary for me to change my name, etc. We say, well, you don't want to change your name, you keep your name, whatever you want to keep your name, no problem. But remember, if you give a good name, then that is the name you will be called out with, right? So they tell them that he's so and so, the son of and so, until they reach the first heaven and ask for the gate to be opened. The gate is not open for them. The command comes to keep his record deeds in Sijin, where the record of the disobedient ones is maintained. His ruh is thrown away. So this is the one. لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء. So he's not gained access to heaven. He's not gained access to the presence of Allah Ta'ala. لا تفضل. They ask him the same questions and ask the believer. His answer to every question is, la adri, I don't know. He's given the bed of Jahannam and the dress of Jahannam. In his grave, a door is open towards the Jahannam, through which he keeps receiving the heat and flames of Jahannam. His grave is made to become straightened upon him. We seek the refuge of Allah Ta'ala, protect us from this. To sum up, it can be said that the spirits of the deniers and disbelievers are taken up to the gate of the heaven. When the door does not open, they are thrown back from there. That's why we say, La tufattahu lahum abwabu sama. That is the link with the lesson we're doing, right? La tufattahum will not be open for them. We also mean that it is at that time of death the gates of heavens are not open for them. Then if you look at towards the end of the hadith, وَلَا يَدْخُلُونَ الْجَنَّةَ حَتَّى يَلِجَ الْجَمَلُ فِي سَمِّ الْخِيَاطِ. Towards the end of the verse it was mentioned, they will not enter Jannah until the camel goes through the needle, and I told you, until the thick shopping rope can go through, impossible. So it's an expression for impossibility, right? They shall not enter paradise unless a camel enters the eye of a needle. Here the word yalish comes from walada, yalishu wulujan, right? Means to enter, which means to enter a narrow opening. Jamal is a camel, and some the eye of a needle, right? The translation covers the meaning literally. The sense of the verse is that the camel is a big animal. Its entry into the eye of a needle is functionally impossible. So equally impossible is the entry into paradise. يعني هو إن الذين كذبوا بآياتنا واستكبروا عنها. The purpose is to state that the punishment of hell for them is everlasting. Then follow the words which describe the added severity of the punishment in hell. Right? لهم من جهنم for mihad. For them is a bed from Jahannam, and over them they are covering ومن فوقهم غواش, coverings of fire. The word mihad means place of rest. Mahdi ويكلم الناس في المهد وكهلا, place of rest, which is the cradle. So Mahad refers to what is Mahad, what the Mahad Institute, and Mahad refer to place of rest. We say يكلم الناس في المهد وكهلا, as Isa alayhi salam, he spoke to the children in infancy when he was in the cradle and in old age, right? So Mihad means place of rest, right? Mihad fi'alun scale means a place of, so this maf'alun, mif'alun, right? Fi'alun is a plural form of, right? And then مهاد ومن فوقهم غواش. غواش the plural of غاشية. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشية. So غاشية Shema is غواش, something that covers. He will be covering from on top, and obviously because they're in Jahannam, these will be coverings from the fire of Jahannam, right? The sense is that the sense is that for these people to rest, the bed and the top sheep will all come from hell. An eloquent manner of putting the extreme severity of the punishment in everyday idiom will be noticed. So it's just like, sometimes you say, like how we say, take glad tidings of staying absent, take glad tidings of detention today. I'm giving the good news that you have to stay in today. It's like it's like a casting, what you call it, right? It will be noticed at the end of the first verse, which mentions the deprivation from paradise. We said, وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الظَّالِمِينَ, and this is how we reward the oppressors. And then in the second verse, which describes the punishment of hell, it was said, وَكَذَلِكَ this is how we recompense the transgressors with more severe form. So one for وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الظَّالِمِينَ وَكَذَلِكَ. Yeah. So the second one refers to وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الظَّالِمِينَ. This is how we will reward the oppressors. In other words, just لهم من جهنم مهاد ومن فوقهم غواش. This is how they will be rewarded. Those judges, they will be given coverings of fire of Jahannam. Okay, time is up. I see now Mulana is here. So remember, tomorrow, inshallah, we just have to do the Arabic, inshallah, right? We've done the English explanation. So tomorrow is the Arabic. Let's stop there.